So
Yeah, teacher.
okay, you, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, how about you? You done your future before?
Yeah,
You
you graded
did?
mine.
Ah, you did. Okay, good. All right. Let's just move on there. Okay. Let me. All right. Last time we stopped at what they call the emptiness again. Emptiness in Buddhist view, there's not empty, not nihilism, right? So emptiness means not stand alone by itself. So this is what they call interdependent conditions, interdependent nature of life. So let me show you a short clip. Okay, it's a few minutes.
John is currently shopping for corn for dinner. As John leaves the store, he thinks to himself, what a great day to be independent. I'm glad I can provide for myself without having to rely on others. Now, wait a minute. Is this really true? Can John provide for himself independently of others? Let's take a closer look. How did John get the corn? John picked it up off the shelf, which was stocked by a supermarket employee who received it from a shipment. The truck driver who brought the corn shipment got it from a warehouse many miles away. At this warehouse, many laborers stored the corn after receiving it from a different truck driver who delivered it from a farm many more miles away. At this farm, the corn was harvested by a farmer who grew the corn using the fertile soil and water provided by the earth and the light provided by the sun. All of these people, processes, and the earth were involved in getting the corn into John's hands. As it turns out, John is depending on a lot, so he may not be as independent as he thinks. Not only that, but all of these people also rely on John to buy the corn to ensure their livelihoods. Even the corn relies on John's support so that the farmer can continue to cultivate it and help it grow. But why doesn't John see these relationships? It's hard for John to recognize how interconnected he is to so many other people as well as the earth when he's so separated from them. He is separated from them by physical distance, the anonymous processes of production that obscure the identities of the workers, and by his unawareness of the web that connects them. But why does it matter if John does not see this interdependence? Are there any consequences if John keeps on thinking that he's independent? Well, if John can't see how he depends on the store employees, the truck drivers, the warehouse workers, the farmers, and the earth, then he won't think about their well-being or how their well-being affects his. As long as John gets his corn, that's all that matters to him. So when the warehouse workers or the store employees or the truck drivers or the farmers aren't being paid enough, it doesn't matter to John. When the many miles the corn has to travel to get to the store uses up tons of fossil fuels, contributing to climate change, it doesn't matter to John. When planting corn on the same plot of land season after season depletes the soil of nutrients, it doesn't matter to John. When the fertilizers that are used to synthetically replace these nutrients contaminate the water, it doesn't matter to John. John's continual indifference to all such things perpetuates the degradation of nature and human life. But what if he saw all of these relationships every time he bought the corn? What if, instead of seeing himself as being fundamentally separate, he saw his existence as being fundamentally relational within a web of the earth and all of the people and processes? If John began to see this, then he would realize that he cannot live without any of these things. Without the warehouse workers, or the store employees, or the truck drivers, or the farmers, John would not have corn, or any food for that matter. What's more, without the earth, John would not have anything. If John could see his interdependencies, then he would recognize the need to value and take care of all these links in the web. John is one link in the web of mutuality with all of them. He cannot exist separately.
See, so we understand, right? But somehow we act like we live in isolation. So that's why whichever thing heaven earth does will affect you so many people, right? When you go to school, affect your parents, the sibling, relatives, and so forth, and vice versa. So that's why this is the way of life. If we move up together. If we move out together. That's the way of life. Right? So that means when we harm other people, that means we harm ourselves. If we understand that, so it's easy for us to be harmonized, to care for each other. Yeah. That's it, like, but so many people, they thought, oh, I do this thing for myself, but they don't know the effectiveness of that problems that occur to them and others. Right, so that's what we call the emptiness, is interdependent with each other. Please tell me the number.
60. 60.
Number, please.
35.
Number.
20.
12. Okay. So that's what emptiness. So that's why for a Bodhisattva, he or she needs to step out, help others. He or she help himself or herself. Yeah. So so that's what's mean the emptiness here. Okay, empty in the independency. Yeah, I know. Okay, the next one. Skill in mean. What do you think? So, Dave, what's mean the skill in mean? Skill in mean, what's mean?
I didn't hear it yet.
Okay. What's mean there? What's mean the skill in mean? No.
I don't think I've come across this term.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I haven't come across it.
This one? This brand actually is if you like you have children, right? And what happens when they cry? You can here's the candies, here the games.
I don't do that, but I understand what
You
you're
don't
saying.
do that. all the parents do that too, right? So that's the way you calm the situation down. You're flexible with situation.
So it's like pacifying?
Not pacifying, but you use some means, some ways to solve the problems. Instead of solve the problem directly, you can solve in different ways.
So like your reaction to that action?
Thinking outside the box.
Nothing otherwise. Here, like just give that example, okay? So a child, he crying, and you give him a toys, so he stopped crying. That's good mean. You understand that?
But is it just finding a solution? Is that what you're trying to do?
There's many different ways to solve the problems.
Yeah.
So you find any means, any ways to solve the
Yeah.
problems.
Okay.
You got that?
So doing whatever you can within your power
To solve the problems. That is called solve. That is called the skill mean. In the Loto Sutra, the Buddha say that I'm like a father, and my children, they play in the pie house. The house was burned down, but the children still playing inside the house. So the father stand outside the house and said, "Hey, come out! I have a toy for you. I have the gift for you. I have a present for you." So that's skill mean to tell them to get out of the burning house. It's not teaching them, but that's just the means. That's the way for him to get the children out of the burning house. That's one analogy. Make sense? Right? If your children play around with games too much, you say, "Oh, they don't play games too much. Go out and play with me," for example, basketball or whichever games, so that they won't be addicted with some kind of things. Right? So that is skill mean. Right? So and teachers too, right? They for me, I give you guys many ways, right? You can do presentation or a paper. That's everyone has different everyone has different approach. And plus, you can come to my temple or go to other temple. That's but as much as you learn something about Buddhist culture, that's the main goal. You understand that? So that's what student means for, especially if your parents, a teacher, or even the leaders of the companies or groups. You have to know, have to be flexible, have to solve the problems in many different ways, many different angles, not in one way. You be stuck if you just see only one way out. Okay. Now, how about this one? Are you here?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I could still forget the name. All right, what is the Pure Land theory practice?
I'm a little behind, so I haven't completed that paper yet, but I just recognize one of the words that's on the next question.
This one? This one?
Yeah, that it has something to do with that, right?
Yeah, for Abidal Buddha.
Yeah.
What was it? What's her name? Flora, right? Claudia? All right, can you talk about this?
Yeah, so I guess it shows that emphasize on having, I guess, being grateful to them. So their practice is to I guess repetitively say his name.
Again, what is the theories in the practice? That's what it's about.
What I got from it was just like being grateful to.
Okay, what else?
And then being able to.
Yeah.
Go.
You decide Buddhist name sometime. You decide Amitabha Buddha name at home sometime. Okay. Here the pillars. They are what they call two pillars. Are people, the one who want to be born in the Western Pure. But before I talk more, I will show you this. Now we have technology, and YouTube is so wonderful that everybody can see. observe this. But here, this kind of phenomena, the Buddha have spoken or described for 1,000 years. That in the universe, so many galaxies, so many Mercury, galaxies, and so forth. There's so many Buddha land, and it's uncountable. What I say is like the sand on the river or the sand on the beach. This is countless. That's why for someone they don't understand this kind of Buddhist philosophy principle, this is out of their mind. But here, it's not easy for us to find where we are. Our planet, right, is the tiny one in the whole universe. And that's why the Buddha say that in one Buddha Sutra, is the Buddha say, is here. If you go to here. To the west of us, 100,000 million Buddha fields. From where we are, there's a word called land of bliss. Billion, and it's uncountable. And there's this here, it describes what they call the Amitabha Sutra. It describes how the land of Buddha, the Pure Land, the description of the Pure Land, that's physical and mental pain are unknown. Here, what the reason why I emphasize this, because after reading some of your writing, I want to make corrections. Some of you say that, well, Pure Land is nearby or inside human realm. It's quite different. It's quite different. This is not right. And one thing is, Amitabha, the names of the Buddha, Amitabha, the meaning is infinite light and infinite life. That means whoever will be born in that land will have infinite lifetime or lifespan. They won't die anymore. That's what the meaning is for. And I used to ask my Buddhist followers, how long you want to live, especially the young children, how long you want to live? You live 100, 200, 300 years, that's too long. Or if you want to live longer, or forever, you can say that's forever. You go there. That's the Buddhist view. And that's why nowadays, you follow, right? You follow NASA information. There's thousand Earth-like planet, right? And it's just some kind of UFO, whichever, aliens out there, but we have not seen yet. Probably in our lifetime, we may see someone, right, with a different form of life. So that's why in Buddhist view, there's just many Buddha fields, many Buddha lands out there. The north, the south, the east, and the west. It's only Amitabha Buddha is only the Buddha that established his own Buddha land, a Pure Land in the west. Remember, you can say that it depends upon our direction, right? We have whichever we say here, the west, the east, the north, the south, up, down, and so forth. So all kind of Pure Lands, all kind of lands, planets out there that unknown to us. Unless we have superpower, unless we have second power, we can fly over there. And I don't know whether I told you the story that one of the Buddha disciples, Mahamogariana, who has second power. So one day he tried to test out the Buddha's sound. Did I tell you this story yet? So he fly far away. He still heard the sound of the Buddha, second Buddha, until he gets to one Buddha land. And somehow he lands on the top of the bowl of that Buddha. And the disciple of that Buddha said, "Wow, look, the Buddha, some
some creatures that work on your boat. So that Buddha said, no, don't say that. And he told this monk, the one who has psychic power, you need to manifest yourself as big as us. Otherwise, my students, my followers, they break bad karma. So he manifested himself as big as their body. And the Buddha asked him, how could you come here? So this monk said, well, I want to test out the sound of the Buddha, Shakti Buddha. So somehow I flew here. And that Buddha said, well, without the power of that Shakti Buddha, you could not be here. So you better get back quick. So he actually after that he prayed for Shakti Buddha and flew back to the earth. That is in one story. But anyways, this is the legend or the myth, whether you believe or not. But still, if we look at this type of galaxy, type of universe, it's so vast that we not like you walk on on the bridge, right? It's all kind of ocean there. That's why the Buddha said that there's all kind of planets, all kind of universe, all kind of galaxies there we could not recognize yet. So again, in Buddhist view, especially in the Pure Land traditions, Buddhists, whoever want to be reborn in that Pure Land, whenever that person be reborn in that Pure Land, that's what they call it. They have 9 grades. 9 grades. And some of you have not mentioned this in your paper. 9 grades means depend upon your sincerity, and even the criminals could be reborn to that Pure Land too. There's no discrimination. As long as they have the faith, as long as they have the practice beside the Buddha name, as long as they have the vows to be reborn there. So these are the 3 important conditions for someone who wants to be born over there. So whenever they born there, yes, eventually they will be a Buddha. They achieve the Buddhahood, become a Buddha, like Amitabha Buddha or whichever Buddhas. But of course, at first, they have to depend upon their practice and karma and so forth. They are reborn in the lotus flower instead of reborn in the wombs. In Buddhist view, I don't know whether I mentioned this. There's 4 types of born. Worms, first one, and eggs born. Did I tell you this one? No. No. Moisture. And the last one is transformation. Monster, like the worms.
Worms? Germs?
Germs. Bacteria. When this is warm enough, this is born there.
Well,
Yeah,
but you're talking about people, or you're just referring to like...
Everything, every sentient being.
Okay, that makes sense. For a minute, I thought we were talking about people.
No, we're born here, right? Worms, right? No.
For a minute, because you went from people to born, and I was...
No, like that's why when you go to the hospital, you have to wash your hands.
Oh no, I tried it.
Right? So it's warm. We born some kind of animals, right? We born worms, some egg like bird, right? And moisture like bacteria and so forth. Transformation from the worms to the butterfly.
Oh, yeah.
So this is in Buddhist view. This is 4 types of born. And for the people who were born there, they were born in what we call transformation. They were born in lotus flower instead of being born in the wombs.
Say that one more time.
For the people who decide these Buddha names and with sincerity, and if they were born, they will be born in that Pure Land. They will be born in the lotus flower.
Which is why I got confused in the beginning talking about people.
Yeah. And remember, when someone achieves that state of mind, right? Buddhahood is no more gender, no more male or female. This will be your male, female. It's
because we live here in Rwanda, that's why we have that. But when someone born in that Pure Land, they born in the religious tribe. Yes?
Is Pure Land just for humans or is like animals too?
In that two tribe, the Buddha said yes, some kind of peacock, some kind of wonderful birds, but this transformation body of that's Buddha. That's a skilled mean to think about this Buddhist sutra, to remind people about the Buddhist sutra. Like every day you listen to music, whatever music you listen, they keep your mind at peace or you enjoy that. It's whichever kind of music there. But this is the skilled beings. It's not the real animals, but the Buddha manifest the tree and so forth. Let me show you a short clip too. And again, you can say that's what we call the. You see here. Yeah, that's what we call the celestial Buddhas. So this is go beyond human thinking. Description of the Pure Land. Now, of course, people make this kind of little clips, but still, this is go beyond human thinking.
Looks like anime would.
Yeah, you can say that. Now, here, let's go back to the questions that Trash mentioned. Okay, let's see. Okay, now here. So you know the theories and practice. Number 6, black and not here. Who come here late? Have a number? Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah, me too, we do that.
Well, it's completely off the topic, but can you provide us, like, if it's not already on Blackboard, a list of terms that you may be looking for in our final paper? Like, you mentioned something earlier that the 9 grades, that many people didn't mention it in their final paper. So is it like certain terms or words or concepts that you're looking for us to include in our paper?
So you can. So the more you dig in, the more you do more research, the more you understand. That's all. So, okay. So let's move on to the next one. Next question here. Yeah, that's why, especially in my high traditions, Pure Land tradition is one of the school. That's if you go to Vietnamese or Chinese temple, most of the times people recite that name, these Buddha names, instead of doing meditation, so don't be surprised. Yeah, so yes.
So I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around the fact that so the Pure Land isn't something to be, like, people don't aspire to go there, right? Because the whole idea of Buddhism is that you don't want to live forever because the body isn't forever, and you don't want all these, like, gold, rubies, jade, and all these things because they're all materialistic, but there's this fanciful land that everyone's maybe trying to get to that has all those things. So I'm having a hard time understanding.
Oh, okay.
Please help me.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Here.
Sorry.
That's okay. It makes sense too. Now here's the point. Now, that's why at the beginning of the semester I mentioned that okay, we have heaven here. Remember, we have Koba, right? We have many layers of heavens, not one heaven in Buddhist view.
Oh, so those the nets we were just talking about?
Yeah, all kinds of
The nets,
heaven.
okay.
The net there.
Okay.
And animal. Okay, is that here hell? If one exists, then my God. Yeah. Good. Here, this is Buddhist view, right? This is what we call 6 part of the world, right? It's not a circle. So depend on your karma in Buddhist view. Let's say if you raise good karma, you can go back to human again. Don't go up there. So many layers of heavens, right? So many realms of heaven. And if you love animals, you go down to see them. And in Buddhist view, again, I told you, if you somehow you harm your parents, or if you raise some kind of criminals, you may go down there, right? But if you make in the form of wars or some kind of, let's say, it's fighting God, right? What's called fighting God. So again, yes, it's no problem. In Buddhist view, it's no problem. If you want to enjoy in the cycle. But unless you would have this, you I'm born here, yes, and getting older until I can handle myself and have to go.
So until you reach, like, the ultimate age of wisdom, then
If you have this, if you still enjoy, yeah, welcome. Welcome to come back again cycle. If you have this cycle, I don't want to be born again. I want to have the second life. Whichever way you want to. It's too much for me. Too much problem for me. I have to deal with my wife, my husband, my children, and so forth. My job, I have to work to do a job, go to school, and so forth. So much for me. Yes, you can look for this Pure Land, or you can look for heaven. That's your choice.
Is it a choice that your conscious self makes when you pass, what's going to happen to you based on your karma?
You can do it now. Yeah, that's why we have the faith, right? You have to you decide that you like to go to church, you have to go to temple and mosque and so forth. That's your choice here. So in Buddhist view, yes, it's a choice to here. Yes?
I don't know if this is correct, but I read that for you to reach a pure land, you can't exist as humans. Like, as in like the realm of humanity. But isn't it like to reach the Pure Lands, like you have to like go of any greed. Like you can't decide. So like if you can desire all of these things, then how can you reach? Like, can you desire to go to the Pure Lands without? Because like if you desire it, that's desire itself. So wouldn't that go against like? So if you desire to go to Pure Lands, you can't go.
That's really important. And for remind me, I have done many funeral service for many people, and have observed on observation that whoever designed his name sincerely, somehow I don't know. For me, this is beyond my thinking, beyond my sight. But I see that they pass away peacefully. I don't know whether they seen Buddha or Bodhisattva or not, but I have read some story. There is some kind of sight that they could see them, like they see their own sight. I don't know whether you know that if someone going to pass away, somehow they may see their past relative. I don't know whether you know or not. You know that?
Yeah.
To come and tell them to go with them. You know that, you know, right? And have seen many cases like that. And some of them, if they're sincere, they could see, only them, not us. They could see this Buddha or all the Bodhisattva from the other planets has a Pure Land to come and take them. And even in Christianity, right? I have read some story that if they have the faith in Jesus Christ, at the last moment, they see priests come and take them to the heaven. So that's depends on your faith. Again, go back to your question. This is the crucial one. If someone has the faith, yes, they have the faith. Even they are criminals. Even they serial killers. But at last moment of their life, if they have a strong faith indestructible faith with Buddha, with the Buddhas, and decide this with Buddha name only 10 times, they will be the one that Pure Land. But it's not easy. It's not easy. Even for sincere Buddhists, even for monks and nuns, it's not easy. But this is the way. Instead of doing meditation, if you do meditation, yes, eventually you need. When you do meditation, you let go of your attachment and so forth, right? But it takes times. It takes thousands or even million years for you to get rid of all the attachment. But this, what we call in Buddhist view nowadays, is shortcut for the people. And have seen, there's one lady. She's this year she's 100-year-old lady, and she always decided Buddha names. Whenever she wants to sit or walk around, she's still healthy. 1 year. And I think this works in different traditions too, right? If they have the faith in God in general, that kind of faith keep them alive. That kind of faith help them to have a healthy life and healthy mentality. Yeah. And I don't know whether it's real or not, because beyond my thinking, beyond my observation, but I recognize those cases that they pass away at least peacefully. So whether you believe in God, that's your own choices. Okay. Now let's go back. That's what we talk about here. Compare. You want to compare? Oh, sorry. This one, yeah. Compare and contrast the 7 fruits of Amitabha Buddha through his 48 vows. This Buddha in the past, he made 48 vows. Basically, he made that kind of Pure Land. It's like someone create an ideal island for you to go there to enjoy your life. Or create an ideal school for you to go there to study. That's what is being before. And you want to say something? What's the difference? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, here. Yeah. 48 at the.
I have a question. I have a question. So
yes.
In the temple,
yes.
There's a statue in the middle. Is it like a lot of temple, and the statue in the middle? Is it the Gautama Buddha or is it the
Which one?
the Gautama Buddha or is it the Amitabha?
The standing or the sitting?
Like in the center, like what you know, the statue in the center, is it?
So depend. If some temple, if the monks they follow the Pure Land traditions, they would keep Amitabha Buddha. But most of the time, this secondary Buddha, the one who's sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you went to my temple, I will show you, right?
Yeah.
The standing, that's been the Amitabha Buddha. The sitting, that's a secondary Buddha.
Okay.
Okay, so depend.
The same as helping.
Because when I look it up, they look similar.
Similar, but it depends upon the mudra or the poster. Alright, so here this is the vows. This should not inhale any suffering and that's all. But let me move down to number. This is about this 48 vows of this Buddhas in the past. He made this type of vows. Here. You know what's been vows?
Yeah, no, I know, but who defines the 48 vows?
That's it. In the past.
Buddha?
Yeah. He made in the past, when he was practiced Bodhisattva path, he made this 48 vows to establish the Pure Land for people to be reborn there. And here, 10 quarters. 10 quarters means east, west, north, south, up, down, northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest, and so forth. That's 10 quarters who after every word by name and first awaken the highest faith and aspiration of the world in that country by even they have recollection and thought 10 times only. He will take them there. But not easy. It's not easy. Why? Let's say somehow, you know, like for men, right? You hold a hammer and somehow you hit the nail, right? Somehow you hit your finger. It's so painful, right? Could you concentrate your mind at that moment? It's not easy. It's so painful physically. But not talking about before you pass away. I have seen many people before they pass away, it's so painful for them physically, right? Because they have some problem with some kind of illness. It's not easy. And recently, there's one man, and somehow he has lung cancer. It's a few months ago, when we visited him in the hospital. It's so painful for him to handle with the pain, and we talked about that. And he told me that he saw many people came to invite him or to tell him to go with them. And that's this kind of story. That's kind of thing that I have witnessed so many times. Anyway, so yes.
Sorry, the statue that you have over your temple.
That's not Amitabha Buddha. That's compassionate Bodhisattva. That's different from this Bodhisattva. This different from this.
So I was looking at the pictures of your altar that you had upstairs.
Yes.
Was there an Amitabha Buddha on your altar?
Yes. Let me show you here. That's here. The
Which?
middle one. The middle one here.
I don't see that one on your altar.
Oh, that's a different picture. It's similar. It's similar, but not exactly. Yeah.
Because I see the one that's in the middle and the back in your church at your altar. It's sitting.
It's sitting. There's secondary Buddha,
Right.
not Amitabha.
Was
So
the one
do you-
standing though in the picture?
Yeah.
With his hands.
The one who's
That
standing.
was the one. It was the one in
And
the
it's
picture
similar like
to
this.
the left.
Yeah, similar to this one here.
Do you remember the one like if you walked
The green one?
upstairs? Yeah, the one to the left.
Yeah, on the
pictures,
picture.
the 3 pictures.
Yeah, and
That
there
were
was
hanging down.
yeah,
Yeah.
the picture hanging on the wall.
But there wasn't one actually physically on the altar.
No.
Okay. Okay.
So don't be confused.
You have-
Okay, that's so
That's why he asked, right? The standing most of the time Amitabha Buddha. This with this posture.
Okay.
With
Yeah,
he
with
put
the
his
hand.
arm down. This means this is a posture of bringing people to his land.
Okay. Okay.
You said he was helping them.
So,
The standing guy was just.
To guide them.
who are the people that are flanking them?
This one here.
The assistant,
This
right?
one here. This is the one who carried the base. Probably this one, right? And that is what we call the compassionate Bodhisattva. And not the Bodhisattva. This is the restrained Bodhisattva. There's two Bodhisattvas.
So there are two
they're his
Bodhisattvas.
disciple.
Yeah.
His assistant, you can say
Yeah,
that.
like what you told us when we were there, was that those are consistent.
These pictures.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
the
right.
assistants.
That's
Okay.
right. Yes.
What's the name of the other one?
This one, in English translation, we call restraint Bodhisattva. Restraint, strength.
Strength.
Bodhisattva, and this compassion Bodhisattva. Yeah, this is.
Does that apply every time you see them in threes, or only for like this particular one? Because,
And most of the time they go together. This
but I
is
mean, like for example, at your temple, it's the same. So it's the
different drawing. That's
real
all.
strength, and then the other one
Different
is.
drawing. Yeah. So that's why whenever you go to Chinese Vietnamese Buddhist temple, people read you say Namo Yada Phật, Namo Amitabha, right? Okay, so that yes.
So, what's the difference between the standing and the sitting? The standing is the heavenly one, where it's like guiding to the Pure Land.
Yes, that's one here.
And then whenever,
You see the hand here?
yeah, so whenever he's sitting,
Most of the time,
yeah,
the historical Buddha, that's the Buddha.
during his time,
During this time.
this is not.
That's
Oh,
right.
okay.
So don't be confused. So this one, that's why we have the good quote is celestial Buddha as Bodhisattva here. Okay? So that's a bit different. Alright? So again, that's your choice. Whether you go up and down, go up forever with God, that's great. But in Buddhism, again, Pure Land is not heaven, please. Some of you wrote that's wrong, this is incorrect, right? So again, so Pure Land is quite different. This is no more, of course it's similar, but still, in Buddhist view, is no more suffering.
Because in Buddhism,
Yes.
heaven isn't forever, right?
Yeah, you can say that.
Sorry, this is like, I just, one of the questions I said, I'm kind of very confused. So like, Pure Land and Nirvana, are they two different things?
Yes, two different things. What's the difference?
That's what I'm
Don't be confused. That's good. That's why you need to be otherwise to be confused. What means the nirvana? Yes.
Isn't that like a mental state?
Mental state. It's not the place. Mental state that there's no more dreamy mind, no more mental afflictions.
Where you want another, right?
You can say that.
Where you want to let go
Of everything.
any sort of want or attachment to anything.
Yes, that's what nirvana. Right? No more greed, no more anger, no more jealousy, no more anxiety, no more stress. That's called the state of mind, nirvana. Pure Land is different. In Buddhist view, that's real place there for people to be reborn. That's why I told you that if Bill Gates had an island for you to go there, that's great. Yes,
Okay, so what about nirvana and enlightenment?
it's similar. If someone had that, depend upon the level of enlightenment. Depend. You have some kind of realization. Depend. Yes.
So you can go to heaven, you can come back down. But if you go to the Pure Land, you can never come back.
No, you can.
From the Pure Land?
You have a choice.
Oh, man.
You always have.
That's why you have a choice. Here, let's say you are in prison. You are in prison, you don't have a choice. But you're out, you have a choice. Simple. Make sense? In Buddhist view, this what we call samsara or reverse cycle. This is like a prison. You don't have a choice. Let's say, can we fly up? Can we fly out the earth? No way. We have the gravity, right? We cannot go out there unless we go with the spaceship. Make sense? It is in Buddhist view. This is the prison.
So you can even go up if you make the thought. And then if you're up there living forever, you can make the choice to come back.
To go anywhere. Anywhere, whether you want to go here or yes.
Sorry, I'm
Very good.
Okay, so what's the difference between, because like from my understanding, is there heaven? Because like from my understanding, there's like levels of like Pure Lands, right? So whenever you say heaven, do you mean the entirety of the levels of the Pure Lands, or do you mean like as a one identity?
Heaven in Buddhist view is still here in the cycle of the birth. Even you live for billion years, billion or trillion years, one day you go around. If you exhaust your blessing, you will go back to human or go to different heavens levels. In this view. Make sense? So the Pure Land is out of this realm. Pure Land is out of this circle. And when
Limbo, in a way.
not limbo. No. If you go there, you live forever. And you can have a choice to come back to anywhere in this cycle of the world to have sentient beings. That's the idea. You got that? But if there's many, I showed you last time, it's 31 levels of existence, and that is all kind of levels to heaven. Understand? Yes?
Can you make a decision to go to Pure Land in any state? Like if you're an animal, can you make that conscious decision to go to Pure Land, or is it just in human form?
In some cases, in some special cases, animal, if they have some kind of good karma, and
Like the dog that saves the
they can. Probably next time I will show you the video clips and some picture that the dog put the palm together and bow. Yeah, I will show them you. Anyway, even yes, in Buddhist view, any sentient beings, even animal, whichever beings, could be reborn there if they sincere decided this Buddha names with the faith and practice and the vow go there. Yes.
Okay.
That's good.
I think I'm thinking of something differently because of like my religion, because heaven to Catholicism is like
You have only one.
Yeah, like that's the utmost you can
Yes,
get.
only one. That's
So for Buddhism, heaven is like not
one
it's
place.
just one. It's like a part of the cycle, and then
Like one heaven, one part of the universe there. Not only one. It's many levels of hell, many levels of heaven.
And nothing in the cycle is permanent.
Yeah.
Nothing in the cycle is permanent.
Yeah, even you go down here for 300 years, one day you still have the chance to go up. It's like the life cycle. If you go down, if you have some misfortune, problems, one day you'll be better. That's why we call it the life cycle. It's not to last forever.
But if you want to stay in the Pure Land forever, you can.
If you want
If you
to,
want to, but you can make a choice to come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
any place you want to. That's the beauty of Pure Land.
Okay.
And you only have the choice to leave if you finally reach enlightenment.
You have a choice. Because at that time, like I told you, if we not commit any crimes, we come to prison, come and go freely. But if we lock there, we can't. That's why Buddhist view, we lock here. We don't have a choice. Right? Yes, we have the choice to create good karma, to stay here. That's why Buddha say it's better to stay over here than to go down here. Not talking about go down here. It's not easy. But you have to choose. You still have the chance to go up, but still it's not easy. So it's better to create good karma to stay around here. Alright. So let's go back to the questions. Did you get the point now? Yeah. Okay. Now, yes. So this one here. Pure Land, is it right?
Oh, and what's
Okay, this one. Oh, we skip this one. Okay, let's go this one. What do you think about Western heaven? Yeah.
Well, Julia's back there.
That one is me.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, I'm Jillian, and she's Julia.
Oh, I see.
Again, not that I memorized mine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you are sorry.
I just want to see my last initial.
So, what is the distribution of the Western heaven then? And many people go to the church, right? So, what's the definition of the heaven, Western heaven?
Like your ultimate goal,
Yes.
permanent.
Yes.
It's the home where God is.
Yes.
We go to be with Him.
Can you be like God, or you be with God? That's all.
No, you never want to be.
You cannot.
Well, you don't want to be.
You cannot be God. But in Buddhist view, you can be Buddha. When you go there, you become eventually with 9 grades from low level up to until and the goal is to become another Buddha. You have
In
to,
Buddhism, you want to strive to be like Buddha, and in Christianity, we don't. Like, we want to walk through like his faith, but we never want to be God. Does that make sense? Like we never, like you want to be Buddha, but we never want to be
like
God. Like, but not him.
Like that.
There's a difference.
Yes.
So I've read over many different articles that discuss the idea of an almighty God within Buddhism. And Siddhartha never really addressed it.
Yeah, addresses too. That's why you say there's so many levels of heaven. And here the things I want to mention in Buddhist view. Okay. So now here, if we look at the universe, like and there's so you can say that here so many heaven around here. In each heaven, it's like one planet or two planets. They have what they call our Earth. The orbit, right? Our Earth go around the sun. So each heaven of planets have the orbit go around, and so does the heaven. So if you have, in Buddhist view, if you have the affinity of the nation with whichever God there, you go there. That's why we respect other traditions. That's why this is normal for us. So if, let's say, that's why if the Muslim believe in Allah, right, they decide or they follow that path and go back to that heaven with them and so on.
So within Buddhist view though, do you believe there is an almighty something, an almighty energy that is out there that has created the entirety?
Everything is dependent upon our karma.
So the universe was never created.
Yeah. Energy.
Yeah, the universe was never created and it will never
That's
be
why. That's just like the energy. Energy
It just is.
never created, never lost.
I'm going back to the video that you showed us about the interdependency. And so I can kind of think about the entirety as an interdependency, that it's not really dependent upon one factor of God.
Yes, that's the Buddhist view. That's what we call emptiness there. We just showed you that clear. So again, that depends upon your faith. That is Buddhist view. So there's all kind of interdependency too, between the earth and even the moon, right? Someone want to blow up the moon, but it may affect to the earth, right? Not talking about things that we do in everyday life. So it depends. So that's why in Buddhist view, that's just the spectrum that we need to see. And like if you have affinity, or let's say if you somehow before you register to the school, you may have chosen certain school that you want to go, but somehow at the end you choose this school. So yes, in this school we have about more than 40,000 students, but other schools like UT, they have more or less, so it depends. So we have certain type of affinity connection with each other. So there's how faith. Actually somehow in this class, to this point, we discussed a lot, but other classes that they didn't like to talk much about this kind of today.
Sorry, we're really sorry today.
Tiffany, you here? You want to talk more? Have you work on this?
Yeah, but everyone pretty much said everything.
Okay.
I put that so the Buddhist pyramid is above and beyond. It's just ignorant, so there's no bad things happening.
About Miss Pearl, you want to say something about this?
Well, it's basically, well, the thing that I realize is that in Christianity, or Western Christianity, heaven is more of like a blanket term for like a singular place. Like, you know, when you die, you go to heaven. Am I right? Yeah, cool. And so when you talk about the Buddhist Pure Land, there's different layers of a Pure Land. And then the people, or the Bodhisattvas or the Buddhas that go into the Pure Lands, you only can be those instead of like a human person, which heaven is kind of like a blanket term, like all dogs go to heaven, people go to heaven, you know, etc. versus the Pure Land, which is kind of more seclusive, I guess, or inclusive towards Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So that was something that I found really interesting.
Shanta?
I have a question.
Yes?
So for the Buddhist pyramid, I read that only that person can truly seek enlightenment. What does that mean?
What
I
is it?
read it somewhere that for the Buddhist pyramid, if someone goes there, they can achieve enlightenment more better. What does that mean?
Yeah, it's convenient.
It's more convenient.
More convenience because here there's all kind of temptations, all kind of obstruction, right? All kind of problems. That's why it's just like
Or in
the,
heaven is the same thing.
it's different. No, it's different because when you go to Pure Land, you live forever. That you have a more chance, you have a chance ultimately become not a Buddha. That's all.
So what
But-
problems do you have in heaven?
Heaven,
Yeah.
again, if you're up there for 300 years, one day you move up and down.
I think, isn't it an illusion that you think you're there forever, but you're not?
That's the point. So that's in Buddhist view.
So the problem is knowing that you can't stay there.
You can if you have sufficient blessing and merit.
You can stay in heaven.
You can stay in heaven. But in Buddhist view, it's just temporary.
It's temporary.
It's not the it won't last forever. Whichever state, whatever means you go around here, it's just temporary in Buddhist view. Even you live up to a trillion years, you still one day you may move up and down again. That's Buddhist view.
What decides the movement within
Your
heaven?
karma.
It's
No one
karma.
decided.
If you are in heaven,
Your karma. Let's say
you can still have bad karma within heaven, within the realm of heaven.
That's why I want to know what the problems were because like
How do you get bad karma in heaven?
the same
Yeah.
thing you do as a human or
yeah, it's similar. If you let's say if you anger, if you have that type some certain type of anger and you harm others, I shouldn't mean it may deplete your marriage.
yeah.
That's why I used to remember I told you at the beginning of the class that these two indications that someone in Buddhist view came from the heaven. Remember?
You fly,
Yeah.
have dream, have.
No, don't talk about the dreams. I don't talk about
Yeah, you did.
what the two
Yeah.
indications.
Yeah, you
You
told
did.
us
You
that
said
if we had dreams of flying.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. But actually,
Okay.
in the life, that's one. Alright, not one. They like to give out. They like to have people. Generously, they are generous. Remember I told you?
Yeah.
And what else? Clean. That's a sign. They just came down from the heaven. But most of the time, the reason why you could come there because you're generous. You like to help others. But if you're angry, if you want to harm others, you deplete your karma. You deplete your merit. You harm yourself. That's why you come down. You see many rich people, right? They're rich, but somehow they commit crimes and they end up in the jail. It's similar.
So you can develop bad karma in heaven, but you cannot develop bad karma in the Pure Land.
No.
Because it doesn't exist in the Pure Land.
No.
Right?
No, because you step out this realm. You step out.
Once you step out of the circle, then there is no more.
There's no more.
No more
there's
karma.
no more karma.
It's just
So you don't have to worry about
non-existence.
it.
You don't worry about
No
it.
worries.
Yeah, no worries about it.
That's why. That's what the sutra is about, right? The Amitabha Sutra is about. Alright?
Okay.
Understand, right? Okay, now here. Chandra, you want to say more?
No, I mean, I pretty much know that word. It's just, it's like, it's a difficult concept for me to understand because we believe in a certain idea of what heaven is, and it's like, really, I don't know, like I myself only thought of heaven as like one place, that's like the most we could do, and so like, this is kind of like as an existence kind of thing.
That's why I show you that in that YouTube.
Yeah.
Before, right? We didn't have this kind of technology. We have YouTube. We thought that, oh, we're here. We only come here on this earth, right? And even when, for my generation, we didn't have internet, right? And we thought, oh, this is my community, this is my country, it is so. I don't know someone in Africa, someone in Australia, and so forth. But until now, we have this kind of connection, this type of knowledge, this type of
of movies and so forth, we understand more.
The world is getting smaller.
Smaller and smaller, and see, we have our Earth is like a tiny bit a brand in the whole universe. All right. So, Zen, you want to talk about medicine master Buddha?
Okay.
Another here. This one is Western, in the west of us, in the west of us, and this one in the east of us. Not the pure in the east, far east, not. We get here. We use this earth is like the position to define the east and the west, but for them it's different. You know, it's just multi dimensions. It's
So
not.
are there east and west dimensions within the Pure Lands?
No. But here, because as the time that during the time as we stand here, okay, we say, oh, this on my left side, on my right side. But not the people. Like my right side, your left side. They're different.
Can you go to either? Can you go to either one?
Yeah, you can go either. Let's see, Sha, can you talk about this Pure Land? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get that part.
You get that part?
Okay, but anyways, I got that it was a blue-colored Buddha that like heals both physical and mental suffering. The Shakyamuni Buddha, he taught the four medicine tantras, and then in this tantras, which is the root tantra, which is like the seat of all diseases, explanatory tantra, the anatomy and physiology of our bodies, oral tantra, causes of diseases and treatments. The last tantra is the diagnosis, I guess. And then there is the medicine tree. They base it off the medicine tree, which is like a tanka, I guess. It's just like a painting, I guess. But there's a left and right, and then the left was that health, I guess. And then right is disease, and then they base it off the three humors: wind, bile, phlegm. And these three humors are rooted in three mental poisons: hatred, attachment, and ignorance. So, yeah.
Right, yeah. You want to say something?
It said the Pure Land was called the Pure Lapis Lazuli, which I guess the lazuli is, like you said, the blue color. And it said there's also 7 other medicine Buddhas as well. So I thought that was interesting. So, and then it also said that the medicine Buddha, when him and his disciples, when they would gather, a lot of the physical and mental health concepts in Buddhism, it was originated from their gatherings. And then he's a symbol of just healing, compassion, and wisdom.
Okay, here's another sutra. In this case, it is called the Medicine Master Buddha. In the East, remember, in Buddhist view, is all kind Pure Land, all kind Buddha lands. In the East, West, North, South, up, down, and so forth. So the Buddha said that here, what do you call it? This Buddha land is speak for an awareness for more. Also, at the pure, you find no temptation, no evil path, or no even crime for suffering there. Now is life discovery, barriers are medicated with gold, coin, and so forth. It's similar. It's similar to the Western Pure Land or whichever Pure Land there. So that's the description of this Pure Land in the East. And let me see here. And he made 12 vows. 12 vows when he was in Buddhism. He made 12 vows to rescue sentient beings there. And here are the things I want to emphasize before we end today. All the Buddhas in the past is made certain type of vows. Like Shakyamuni Buddhas, the historical Buddhas, in the Pali, even the sacred literatures mentioned that in the past
while he practiced Buddhist path, he made the vows to become a Buddha. And for Amitabha Buddha, he made the vows to raid that Western Pure Land. And for this, Medicine Master Buddha, in the past, he made 12 vows to raid that Pure Land. So that's why they couldn't make it. Alright, so let me give me 1 minute. Let me go over the last question so that next week we will go to Zen tradition. Okay. The last one is what they call the. Oh, you do that?
Excuse me. My class is very far and I haven't tested it.
Oh, okay. Alright, let me Jessica, let me go to it quickly before we end. What do you find out about the Pure Land art, Jessica? Yeah, I know it. Let me go briefly. So there is a scroll in Chinese, the Sutra, Amitabha Sutra in Chinese. And again, this is the image that that people draw in the past. And this is in the Zen tradition. You see that the Pure Land, and we just saw the video clips there. Okay, so this one here. I want to show you quickly here. Here's the way he rescued Shanshun being. You see that? With all the retinues of Bodhisattva there. And that's one. Alright, so let's go. Okay. So who has not finished future people, please do so and be ready.